You're the only person who could lose 120 pounds, reinvent your whole life, and still think the most urgent problem to solve is which sea glass metaphor fits your website footer.
You've got so many projects going on at once. I'm convinced your Google Calendar needs its own personal assistant.
Your obsession with rebranding every 5 minutes makes me think you're just trying to distract people from the fact.
Tiffany can't finish a thought without adding glitter, and Jeanette can't finish one without a legal disclaimer. We both know what it's like to start fresh after a big life shift. What's been the most surprising part of reinventing yourself post-divorce?
The blind spot could be forgetting to slow down your message, meeting people where they are, and bring them along step by step.
I promise I'll never dim down. That's an important one. I'll keep laughing too loud, dreaming too big, and finding beauty everywhere. Welcome to A Holistic Dose. We've been through the plot twists, divorce, parenting, burnout, reinvention, and now we're doing midlife with way more honesty and way less BS. Think of us as your unfiltered friends, here to remind you that you're not too late, too old, or too far behind. I'm Tiffany.
And I'm Jeanette.
So today we're going to be starting off the first of our little series. We're calling it Chatting with ChatGPT. The last episode we talked about some of the fun and creative ways and really helpful ways that we use chat in our daily life to help us out. So we're going to play a little game. We're going to do some of these prompts live with you guys to see what the answers are. And
we're kind of playing with it like it's our magic 8-ball, just asking some random questions and seeing what chat says in response.
Yeah.
So one thing about ChatGPT, if you don't use it, it learns you, right?
Mm-hmm.
And if you're somebody who uses it daily, like Tiffany and I do, it learned you pretty well.
Oh,
so
yeah.
I am putting in to ChatGPT into my phone. If you had to roast me in 3 sentences, what would you say?
Oh my God.
Okay, it says, you're the only person who could lose 120 pounds, reinvent your whole life, and still think the most urgent problem to solve is which sea glass metaphor fits your website footer. Your multitasking is so extreme that even your paralegal tortoise probably thinks you need to slow down. And honestly, between running a law firm, launching TikToks, hosting a podcast, and writing a book, I'm starting to wonder if you secretly cloned yourself, because no single human should be this addicted to side hustles. And then it asked me, do you want me to make it more savage or playful? I'm going to say savage, but you do yours.
Oh my God. Okay. Well, I just put the prompt in and it says, okay, Tiffany, here's the 3 sentences. It says, you've got so many projects going on at once. I'm convinced your Google Calendar needs its own personal assistant. I would say that's honest and facts. You call yourself a creative director, but really, you're just a professional at convincing Jeanette to roll her eyes. And let's be...
Okay.
That's funny. Okay. And let's be honest, your skincare routine has more steps than your dating life. Oh my God.
Your chat's meaner than mine.
It says, you want me to come up with a version that roasts both you and Jeanette together for the show?
Yes.
Yes.
So okay. I told it to be savage. Let's see if that changed much. So it actually became a little bit similar. It says, you juggle so many businesses and side projects that it's less boss babe and more professional attention deficit disorder. Your obsession with rebranding every 5 minutes makes me think you're just trying to distract people from the fact. Oh, I can't read this. I'll have to tell you in private.
Really? It got that sassy?
It's so bad. And for someone who built a whole law firm around amicable divorce, you sure seem committed to being in a toxic relationship with your own workload.
Oh.
Yeah, there's one part that I was like gonna read.
I'll have to
tell you in private what chat said to me.
I can't wait. Okay. Well, when I did it on both of us, it says, you two have the chemistry of a married couple. Tiffany's the dreamer, decorating the house in sage and neutrals. That's because I'm working on the spa, Lumi Vita. Oh my God. And Jeanette's the one reminding her they can't afford it. Tiffany can't finish a thought without adding glitter, and Jeanette can't finish one without a legal disclaimer. Honestly, your podcast is basically a live action therapy session disguised as wellness content.
Nice.
Oh my God. Well, that is so funny. Speaking of like dating stuff, I am going on a date tomorrow. Let's see. I'm going to say, please give me some interesting first.
Can you put some information about the guy? that
Okay,
would
yes.
be like,
Mm,
tailor it to someone who has these interests or
okay, yeah, let's see. So I'll say, please give me some interesting first date convos for a coffee
and then
date
maybe
I
even
have
say what kind of
tomorrow.
impression you're trying to make. So be like, the guy, or even it's a guy, it might not know.
Yes.
So it's a guy around this age
The
and
guy's 50 years old, of course, for a few years, has an older daughter and son.
do you know like what
Okay.
his interests are? He likes to
Um, it,
kayak or I don't know.
yeah, he likes to travel and he did mention he likes to dress well.
Okay. Yeah. So then, like, are you trying to impress him? Are you trying to
Mm-hmm.
be like just super fun?
Yeah, I'm trying to come off as playful, flirty, confident. What else? Maybe that's just good.
Yeah, I think
Okay,
that's
let's
good.
see what it says. Okay, well, let's see. It gives some playful icebreakers. So it says, okay, real test. What's your go-to coffee? This will determine if we're compatible. Since you clearly like to dress well, did you pick your outfit for me or did you wake up as put together? He sounds like
I would
pickup
never say that.
lines. No.
Guess sometimes it's chat's not as helpful as we hope.
Yeah, if I made you a playlist for today, would it be smooth jazz, cafe vibes, or something more dangerous? Okay, let's see. These
These are
sound like
cheesy.
these are cheesy and sound like pickup lines. Can you give me more depth? Okay, let's see. Let's elevate this so it doesn't feel like it can't like canned lines, but more conversation anchors. Okay. So it's saying it's getting a little deeper. So we both know what it's like to start fresh after a big life shift. What's been the most surprising part of reinventing yourself post divorce? I think
That's a
that's a
good
good one.
question. Yeah.
Yeah, because I think this really helps, I feel, and see whether somebody's taken the time to work on themselves, which is
Mm-hmm.
really important, I'm sure, as you know very well. Oh, yeah, having older kids gives you a whole different perspective, doesn't it? What do you enjoy most about the stage of fatherhood?
Yeah, that's an awesome question.
I think so too. And then it says this positions you as thoughtful while keeping the energy light and smiling and weaving in a playful tone. Like I bet they keep you humble.
Yeah.
So it says as far as travel goes, it says when you travel, do you love blending in local, like being a local, or being the tourist who's unapologetically, geez, I can't speak, takes a million photos? I think having similar values in travel is really important too,
Yeah.
because I know you mentioned like when you're going places that you want to make sure that you are seeing and doing all the things. I like that, but like I also just like some downtime and I don't
Mm-hmm.
try to put the pressure on my mind. I have a little bit of travel anxiety, so I don't like to feel like, oh my God, if I didn't get to see and do everything. Like I know I can go back some other time. Maybe chances are not, but I don't like the pressure. So it's, oh, well, this is an interesting one. What's a trip that completely changed how you saw yourself or life? And it says, I feel like the way someone packs for a trip says everything about them. Are you the organized pro or the guy buying the socks at the airport? Oh my God. For me, I'm not organized, but I have travel anxiety that I'll even sometimes just go shopping before trips to pack the new stuff because I'm like, ah.
Yeah, those are good questions.
And then it talks about like style and confidence. Like, do your kids ever roast your outfits? Like, I can already tell you're the kind of guy who notices details that does carry over into other parts of your life. Let's see. Yeah. What's the green flag that makes you think that you're great to date? So, yeah. Okay. Those are some questions there.
So why don't we have it come up with a vacation itinerary for us? Let's do a girls trip and give it
Okay.
some like parameters. So do we want to be like lavish or should we give it should we give it a stupid big budget or a stupid small budget?
I think like a stupid small budget.
Okay. So let's
Mm-hmm.
say we want a girls trip and we're going to spend $1,000 each.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. So let's say
Or, but,
$1,000 each
okay.
traveling from Atlanta for, let's just say 3 days. And what are some crazy things that we could tell it we want?
Okay. Let's think.
What if we're all vegans?
First, food wise, we are all vegans. We prefer warmer weather.
We want most of our activities to be nighttime.
We want most of our activities to be nighttime.
We want extreme activities
We are on extreme activities and
and
to
very scenic for Instagram.
capture the moments on Instagram. Okay, go. Let's see. It says thinking for thinking longer for a better answer. Do, 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 do. It's gonna be our waiting
I
music.
did one for a family trip where I put in a crazy low budget, hoping it would come up with something miraculous. And it was like Myrtle Beach, Gulf
Oh,
Shores.
no, no,
Like,
no. Okay,
yeah.
so now it's starting to populate some stuff. So far, it's saying is Las Vegas is a good option, and
Yeah.
it's,
I
well,
mean,
we're
yeah,
going to
like I
Las
could come up
Vegas
with
like
that in the
next
chat.
month. I know. Yeah, now it's looking for budget hotels. Hmm. With no resorts fees, nighttime. Yeah. Now it's going. Okay, now it's checking vegan spots.
Which none of us are vegan.
Searching for the status of 2025 status of Vegan Nation. I think it's looking to send us to a vegan conference
Oh,
or
we should have
something.
been like, we love punk rock music.
Okay, yeah. So it is saying. I mean, okay. So it's saying Las Vegas, the downtown base, because it's cheap flights, and yeah, it gives this one hotel. It says the room is $40 to $55 a night,
Woohoo! What's the
and
hotel?
it's the Fremont. I don't know.
Fremont?
Yeah. And it
Okay.
says four. Yeah. So, okay, now it gives in a sample itinerary. So it says Fremont Street, Thrills and Neon Glow. So it's giving us a whole name. So it's first an extreme hit. It's saying to hit the Slotzilla zip line. Then it's saying to go to the Neon Museum. And
I've
then the
been
late,
there. That's fun.
is it? Okay.
I mean, the
Late night.
Fremont Hotel is not horrible. It gets
Hmm.
4.3
Oh, wow.
stars on Google.
Okay. And then for late night dinner, it's saying Tacotarian, which is a plant-based Mexican fun, colorful plating.
Yum, yum.
And then night two, it's saying adrenaline and artsy nightlife. It's recommending us to do the pool, and then we get a content edit
See, I
break.
was wanting a little more spicy. I wanted to be like, go visit the Bunny Ranch or like,
Yeah, I don't
I
know if
mean,
it went there. Well, we
this is
could
like a,
say add some
yeah,
risque
we need,
options.
yeah, let's do that.
Okay. How about we spice it up some for the night activities? Okay, let's see what it says. No, okay. Well, it says, okay, club crawl with a twist. It's saying downtown or strip club crawl. So 40 to 60 bucks. It includes VIP and entry drinks. Let's see. Oh, there's some pool parties with a night swim and -5 ice bar. Late night adventure ride. Okay, that's the roller coaster. A night helicopter tour. Well, now it says, let's see, sample spiced up night two. Yeah, it's not giving those. No.
Hmm.
Mm-mm. Nope.
Is Vegas the only option or did it give other options?
Yeah. Is Vegas your only option? It says not at all. Now it's suggesting Miami, and it gives its reasons why. And then it suggested Puerto Rico,
Okay.
Phoenix, um,
Phoenix. I would have never thought of Phoenix.
New Orleans. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. New Orleans.
Uh-huh. Well, for Phoenix, it's saying like sunset hot air balloon rides. Yeah, and it's like flights are $200 to $350, and then it gives a bunch of vegan restaurants, some spice factor. It's adding in there. It says
Okay.
bottle service plus desert glam, a total IG moment. For New Orleans, as an extreme thing for Instagram is like a swamp airboat ride at sunset, ghost vampire tours at night. Spice Factor, Bourbon Street After Dark, Jazz Club costume photo ops. And yeah, it's getting a bunch of them. And then
I
it
do
ranks
like how
them.
specific it gets. Like, so I'm
Mm-hmm.
going to pull up some that I've done on my chat. Like, I asked a question of what would be a realistic budget for a family of five to spend 7 days in Tokyo doing like, these type of activities. And it came up with like this detailed budget and like where to stay and what to see. And then
Wow.
I did another one where I asked, what would be the cheapest trip for my husband and I to take to scuba dive? And I gave the dates like December from Atlanta. And then I said we would want the water warm enough to not have to wear more than a 5 millimeter wetsuit. And it came up with Cozumel, but it was very specific. It's like
Hmm.
flights at this time or this, here's hotels. And so I love how specific that it gets on helping
Yeah.
plan.
And while you're looking for that, I popped one in here just in regards to parenting, so a couple scenarios with teenagers. The teenagers love to push the boundaries, staying out later. They want more freedom. And then we're always constantly battling this. So I'm going to say, write me a script for talking to my teenager about setting curfews. I want to acknowledge their independence, but also keep clear boundaries. And it's basically saying, like, what I would say to my child is, hey, you're growing up and wanting more independence. I get that. And I honestly respect it. You've been showing us you can handle more responsibility, and I want to keep giving you trust. At the same time, my job is to make sure you're safe and the house runs smoothly. And then it even tells you, look, then you pause, and then continue. So it gives them time. And then it's like, so here's what I'm thinking. On school nights, curfew time is X, and on the weekends, it's X. This gives you more freedom, but sets a clear line so you don't have to argue. And then it's telling you to invite input and then closing it positively. But it's like, I want to hear what you think, what feels fair to you. And I think this is great. It helps you guide those conversations because these are all the things that we're having the first time with our kids being this
Mm-hmm.
age, And it's way different than what it was for me growing up with my mom. It would be like you were not allowed to speak up or say anything that
Yeah.
was on your mind.
Yeah.
So I think this trains us because we didn't have that to like, what are some good areas to learn to pause and
Mm-hmm.
how to address things? So yeah, there's some
Interesting.
good things there. Mm-hmm.
How about we put in like some symptoms and see what
Yeah.
it says for a diagnosis? So right now my eye is twitching. So let's say 46-year-old Caucasian female, eye has been twitching for a day. I just come up with some crazy other symptoms.
Do you want to say that you've recently got over the shingles?
Sure. Yeah, just say recently got over shingles.
Okay. What else is going on?
My right big toe hurts.
Okay. My right big toe hurts, and I'm noticing that I'm starting to lose some hair. Okay. Anything else?
I'll see what it says.
I'm going to say my mouth is also dry. It says, I'm not a doctor, but I can help you think through what might be going on and what's worth discussing with your healthcare professional. Since you've recently had shingles and you're noticing multiple new symptoms, it's especially important to check with your doctor. But here's a breakdown of things you mentioned. Eye twitching. It's often related to stress, fatigue, caffeine, or eye strain. It can sometimes happen after illness when your body's run down.
Probably actually what's happening.
Yep. Usually harmless if it lasts a few days, but if it persists or is accompanied by other neurological symptoms such as drooping, vision changes, weakness, it needs urgent evaluation. You're right, big toe pain. It could be something
Which that is
simple
made
like
up.
footwear or an injury. In midlife women, other possibilities include gout, arthritis, or joint inflammation.
Oh, great. Mhm.
Fun things to look forward to.
Yeah, I should have also told it maybe that I just did Botox.
Oh, yeah, exactly. There's that. That's a
Yeah.
whole other thing.
Yeah.
Don't try to self-Botox yourself.
Yeah.
And then the hair loss, common causes stress, perimenopause and menopause, thyroid issues, nutritional deficiencies, or autoimmune factors. Because you also mentioned a dry mouth, thyroid or autoimmune conditions like Sjögren's, I have no idea, syndrome could be worth ruling out.
And when I did the ChatGPT that helped diagnose my shingles, it did start out like this, where I was like, okay, this isn't really that helpful. It's very broad. But then the
Mm-hmm.
more I like kept adding to it, it then ended up bringing it into, oh, you need to talk to your doctor about shingles, which was really interesting.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. So let's see. I'm going to put another one in here. I'm going to say we're feeling stressed or stretched thin with work, kids, and aging parents, and I want small, actionable stress relief techniques. Give me 3 stress management tips for midlife women balancing career, teens, and family caregiving. And it says there's micro resets. So 2 to 3 minutes anywhere. So it's giving a couple lists of things you can do, like instead of waiting for a long break that never comes, which is pretty accurate, use tiny resets. Step outside for 2 minutes, do deep breathing or stretching. Boundary buildings. So, for example, setting personal boundaries for yourself, like I will just not take any more phone calls after 9 p.m. to start practicing better sleep habits, or meal prepping once a week. That's something that I've been wanting to get into doing, not just for some of the things that I feel like I've been doing over and over and over again, like every day I have to make Gabby's lunch for school. Like just make them all while you already have all the ingredients out. It's like saving steps. And it mentions like adding in like a joy ritual, like a solo walk in the morning or a tea ritual with calming music, things like that. Okay. I thought about this one here. So,
Okay, there's
I
another
said,
one that I'm going to want you to do. So we'll do yours and then.
okay. So I said, write a pep talk as if Oprah was my life coach.
Okay.
So it says, Tiffany, let me tell you something. You are not here by accident. You are here because you are meant to rise, to shine, to take all the chaos of the work, motherhood, friendships, and midlife and weave it into something extraordinary. Now listen to me, your eye twitching. That's just your body saying, girl, slow down for a second. Your doubts, lies. The truth is you are ready enough, more than enough. You don't need anyone's permission to live through your biggest, boldest versions of your life. So tomorrow morning when you get up, I want you to look in the mirror and say, I am the prize. I am the possibility. I am the damn moment. And then go drink your green juice and go on conquering the world. Now it's like, do you want me to do a spicy version like Cardi B or RuPaul?
So I just asked it, what are my blind spots?
Mm.
And it's like, oh, okay, this is actually, I think, interesting. So it said, that's a big and vulnerable question. I'll answer in a way that's both practical and kind, based on what I know about you and the patterns I've seen in our work together. Here are a few potential blind spots you want to reflect on. So I want you to do this next.
Okay.
Number one, overextension. You're highly ambitious, juggling law firm management, branding, marketing, podcasting, TikTok, Substack, book writing, and more. The drive is powerful, but a blind spot could be underestimating the toll of spreading yourself too thin.
Mm.
Number two is expecting others to match your standards.
Mm-hmm.
You're detail oriented, creative, and quick at seeing what needs to be improved. The flip side is that others may struggle to keep pace with your vision and energy. A blind spot may be assuming they should just get it when in fact they need more help to reach your level. Number three, moving faster than your audience.
Mm.
You're ahead of the curve in your industries, law, content, lifestyle. But sometimes clients or followers might not be ready to adopt the big changes you envision, like amicable divorce or holistic midlife reinvention. The blind spot could be forgetting to slow down your message, meeting people where they are, and bring them along step by step. Number four, giving away too much grace. You're empathetic with clients, staff, even your audience. Sometimes this means you give too many discounts, too many second chances, or too much flexibility. The blind spot here is not always protecting your own boundaries, time, and revenue. And then the last one is under celebrating wins. You often look to what's next. This is so true. I mean, it's kind of crazy how spot on some of this is. You
Yeah.
often look to what's next instead of pausing to honor your milestones. A blind spot could be missing the power of publicly and privately celebrating progress, which builds trust with clients, excitement with followers, and morale with staff. And I've had a coach call me out on this before. Like it was at a year-end review of like the business plan, and it really was like, oh shit, like I kicked ass, but I'm
Yes.
so forward
Same.
thinking that I don't ever sit in the moment and be like, whoa, look at what I've accomplished.
That I'm completely guilty of that. And I keep meaning to start to slow down and really make a list to tackle all these things. My mentor actually gave me a really good tip. I haven't implemented it yet though. But she said that like what she does to tally things up for herself, even just on her daily calendar, she might go and make notes on it, like completed this presentation today or 5 new clients or whatever. So that you can kind of go and collect those and just make a summary for them.
Yeah.
I bet that could be helpful for goal setting too, and then put it in a chat and help you analyze it.
Mm-hmm. All right,
So,
let's
okay.
find out your blind spots.
Yeah. So how did you ask it? I just said, please share with me some of my
That
blind spots.
that's exactly what I said. I just said,
Okay.
what are my blind spots?
All right. Let's see. It's
I
okay.
think
So
my
this,
chat's nicer than yours. Like, did yours give you this little, oh, that's big and vulnerable. I'll be practical and kind.
mm-mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. Let's see. Okay.
Here we go.
Here we go. It's going to be honest here. It says, here's a gentle read aloud. I say yes too quickly.
Mm-hmm.
It says, I love creating, connecting, and helping, but sometimes I pile on too much on my plate before I thought about how much energy it will really cost me.
Yeah. I mean, that is you.
To a T.
It's absolutely. Yes.
I equate busyness with progress. Ooh.
That's interesting. Do you agree?
Let me read first. I'll sprint through tasks, projects, and ideas, but I don't always pause long enough to celebrate what I've really accomplished.
Okay.
Same like
What we
you.
were just talking
Or
about.
to ask if I'm running in the right direction. Yeah, because like of my ADHD, I'm so guilty. Like there's times where I go so deep into something that I'm like,
I've seen that. Yeah. Where it's like you get excited about something and it gets like distracting and
yeah,
like what you've
that's
talked
why I'm
about,
always like,
sometimes you even like
"Squirrel,"
get out and like meet too many people and kind of go down a rabbit hole with, yeah.
wanting to save everybody.
Yes.
Absolutely. And
Yep.
I'm like, oh, I want to take this on and help them completely. I hide
Mm-hmm.
behind humor and positivity. It says, I'm great at making people laugh and feel good, but sometimes that means I skim over my deeper feelings instead of sitting with them. That's actually very accurate.
Really?
Yeah,
This is
definitely.
crazy how chat can like really
I
learn a
know. I'm like,
person.
"Whoa." It says, I get restless with consistency. This is accurate too. I love starting new things, chasing sparks, and pivoting quickly. But that can mean I don't always give routines or long-term plans the steady attention they need. Absolutely. I get bored so fast. But that a lot
Interesting.
too has to do with my ADHD. It's constantly like, where can I get the next dopamine hit from? And then the last one, it says, I underestimate how inspiring I already am.
Oh,
Wow, Chad, you're so nice. It says, because I'm so focused on what's next, I don't always recognize how much impact I'm having in the moment on my daughter, on my friends, on the people who look up to me.
so we could even then put in like what is an action plan to
Ooh,
address these. So let's both put that in.
okay. Mine says, regarding saying yes too quickly, it says, create a 24-hour pause rule. Ooh, I love that. Before committing to a new project or request or favor, say, let me think about it and get it back to you tomorrow. Use that pause to check, do I have the time, energy, or does it align with my bigger goals? Oh, I'm going to do that because I'm,
Chat is so smart. See, this is why we
gosh,
use this every day.
yeah, because to be honest, like that also comes from my desire to always want to people please and knowing that like if I show up for them because I didn't feel like people were able to do that for me growing up, I never want to let people down. But I'm not, that's me not creating a proper boundary.
Yeah.
Then it says equating busyness with progress. It says action to a weekly wins ritual.
Yeah.
It's kind of like what I said. Every Friday, write down 3 meaningful things you achieve, big or small. And then it
Mm-hmm.
says bonus, share one with Jeanette on your podcast and podcast audience to reinforce the progress without needing the constant motion.
Mm-hmm.
And then hiding behind humor and positivity, it says schedule honest check-ins. Once a week, journal for 10 minutes about what actually felt heavy or frustrating. If journaling feels flat, use voice notes, raw and unfiltered. Humor can come later, but first give the space to the truth. Restlessness with consistency. It says anchor one keystone habit. Choose one routine that supports everything else. For example, a morning walk, weekly planning, or Sunday meal prep. Commit to it for 30 days no matter what. Track it visually, calendar, sticky notes, so you can see the consistency building. That is true. Like every week I keep saying like, I'm going to do this weekly. And
Yeah.
I don't. Underestimating impacts. It says build a reflection loop. Once a month, ask a trusted person. So maybe I'll do this with you, friend, your daughter, Jeanette, a colleague. What's the one way I've made your life better lately?
Oh, it's nice.
And yeah, and then capture the responses in a proof file with screenshots, notes, recordings. When doubt creeps in, revisit it. I've
I
heard about
love
this.
that.
Yeah, as a technique for building your own personal brand. I've heard where it asks you, this one book I was reading, which I'll add it to the show notes, to go and send out to email former colleagues and your friends and your family members of all different kind of walks in life, different levels, and ask it to basically review you so that it can find these things that chat is seeing through the patterns.
Yeah.
And you get to hear back from them. So you're like, oh, wow. And then, yeah, that was the last one. Yeah, the reflection loop. Yep. How about yours?
Interesting. All right. So here's mine. For overextension, it says focus and delegation. So it says each quarter pick a big growth project and instead of diluting focus. Then a delegation audit, write down everything you currently do weekly, circle the things only that you can do, and then everything else delegate, automate, or eliminate. Time blocking, which I sort of time block and I need to do more of it.
Mm-hmm.
Number two, the high standards for others. It says systems and coaching. So action steps, a minimum standards handbook. Instead of expecting others to document into it. What does that mean?
Intuit is the tax thing.
No, I think it's like a verb, though. I don't
Oh,
understand what that means. Maybe it means like intuition. I think this is it.
oh.
Instead of expecting staff to intuit, I've never actually heard of that as a verb, but I
Hmm.
guess that means like use their intuition. Document your non-negotiables. Then weekly accountability check-in, and then celebrate progress. Three, moving faster than the audience. It says bridge building. Step zero content. For every big idea, like amicable divorce, but like reinvention, create one intro piece that meets people at the starting line. For example, 5 signs your divorce could stay low conflict, or why midlife feels like falling apart and that's normal. pulse surveys, run simple Instagram polls, TikTok comments, or email mini surveys to ask what is your biggest struggle right now. So that's very smart. That helps keep you tethered to where your audience actually is. And then case studies, stories. Don't just tell about my future vision. Show them real, relatable stories of transformation. Then let's see, giving away too much grace, boundary reset. No more silent discounts. Decide once. Discounts only if pre-approved by you for defined reasons. Otherwise, stay firm. Compassion plus container, I was in quotes, script. Yeah, so this is basically saying come up with a script, which ChatGPT is helpful with. Whereas I hear you, here's what I could do within our structure that keeps empathy but maintains the frame. Review your favors list. Write down all the unpaid extras or exceptions that you've made and ask, did this truly benefit me/the firm long term? And if
Wow.
not, cut out that pattern. Under celebrating wins, action steps, monthly win roundup, to post internally and externally client success stories, podcast milestones, law firm victories, TikTok growth. Sea glass spotlight, tie it into your brand metaphor. Highlight how broken to polished applies to I like this, like a broken to polished example of a client,
Mm-hmm.
staff member, or yourself. So like a kind of transformation
Uh-huh.
post. And then personal ritual, each Friday, jot down 3 things you achieved, big or small. It rewires you to see progress instead of just the next hill to climb. Yeah,
Hmm.
very interesting.
I like that. So I came up with one. I actually used chat to find out a closing question to ask it for this
Okay.
episode. So it gives this question, and I think that for those who already use chat, this could be an interesting assignment for you all to do too. So it says, if you could go back and give your 16-year-old self one piece of advice and then make one promise to your 80-year-old future self, what would they be? And I asked it to say that for both you and myself. So for me, it's calling me the creative optimist. It's saying advice to my 16-year-old self would be, don't rush to prove yourself. Your sparkle and creativity aren't things you need to earn. They're already yours. Trust the world will eventually catch up to your vision. And then the promise to my 80-year-old self would be, I promise I'll never dim down. That's an important one. I'll keep laughing too loud, dreaming too big, and finding beauty everywhere. And even if it makes people roll their eyes, it's pretty accurate. So it's labeling you as the pragmatic truth teller. So advice to your 16-year-old little Jeanette. It says, you don't need to have everything all figured out. And it's okay to walk away from paths that don't feel right. Strength is knowing when to pivot, not just when to
I
push
did
through.
that with 2 divorces.
That's right. And then the promise to your 8-year-old self, it says, I promise I'll keep protecting my peace, choosing honesty even when it's hard, and building a life that feels calm, steady, and full of meaning.
Yeah,
I think that's pretty spot on.
I think so too.
Yeah. So whether it's working or it's work, parenting, or just trying to make midlife a little smoother, ChatGPT gives us tools that we didn't even know we needed.
Yeah.
And so with that, make sure you keep subscribing on Apple Podcasts, wherever you listen to podcasts. Follow us on social media at A Holistic Dose on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. And for more fun, visit our website at aholisticdose.com. Thanks for hanging out with us. We'll be back next week with more unfiltered friend talk right here on A Holistic Dose.
See you next time.
Bye.